Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Dream back with another trucking video for you guys today. And on today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, I'm going to be going over a few reasons why I believe it's a good idea to become a truck driver or why it's not a good idea to become a truck driver. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for those of you guys that want to join CR England, I will have a link in the description. It's basically to help set me up as a referral. I get a nice little bonus out of it. I'm a little tired, I was just working out. Whew. Let me catch my breath, but yes, link down in the description below. So hopefully you guys hook me up with that. But let's get right into this video. It is just a random list of pros, random list of cons. This is not in any order, but let's get started with the first one is the pay. Whew. So the pay as a brand new truck driver is already beating being a minimum wage employee. So right off the bat, you're going to be getting paid better than minimum wage. Yes, the longer you are a truck driver, the better the pay will get. So that's really awesome. The only time that I did get paid minimum wage as a truck driver is during training. I know for sure CR England pays minimum wage during training. I don't know about these other companies yet, but they don't keep paying you minimum wage after you finish training. As soon as you actually get the job, you're good. They start paying you way more and you're solid. At first, I wasn't getting paid way more though. If you guys saw my situation with my previous videos, you guys saw that I was making about $600, $700 gross every week, and that wasn't cutting it. I ended up switching to I was over the road. I ended up switching, and last video I mentioned that I made over $2,000 in 1 week, and the week before I made $1,800 in a week. So I'm getting there, I'm getting higher and higher and higher, and it's just, there's no limit basically. Because as soon as I don't know how to explain it, but I want to keep going up. This isn't a dead-end job basically, where you're not going to be stuck for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years being paid the same as when you just started. I want to upgrade to become a trainer. Trainers make even more money because they have the responsibility of training new drivers. They take the risk, and it's very rewarding as well. Another thing that I could upgrade to is being a owner operator, and that basically means that I get to own my own truck. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive, obviously, because you have to take into consideration the truck, the insurance, the fuel, the maintenance, just to name a few, but it is well worth it. All these owner operators mainly way more than $100,000 a year. I know some that make over $300,000 a year just by being an owner operator, because you get the advantage of being able to decide how much you want to get paid for your mileage. So it's pretty awesome. You can make several thousands in a week. You can make a few thousands in a day. It all just depends on your schedule, how much you want to work, and etc. So that's a good thing that this is not a dead-end job. Another good thing about this is we're in a pandemic right now. Everything was shut down at a point, but not truck drivers. We kept on driving. That's a really good thing to do, because who knows, maybe if they end up closing stuff again, we will still have a job. That is another good reason why I personally got my license, because I knew all these other positions are closing. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make money? And I kept on seeing trucks out on the road, and I was like, the hell, do these guys go home? But no, in a good way, they kept on driving. So that is another good thing of being, like I said, a commercial driver. But the main thing that got me to being a driver is the job security. As soon as I got my license, I'm set to go. As long as I'm not dumb, drinking, driving, getting into accidents, getting all these tickets and stuff like that, I should have job security. No matter where I go in the country, I will have job security. Everyone is hiring truck drivers. There is a high demand on truck drivers. There's actually a shortage on truck drivers right now, where no matter, like I said, where you go, you will get a truck driving position, assuming you have your license. But that doesn't mean that right off the bat, you're going to be getting hired by all these companies that are paying really, really well. Of course, you do need experience, you do need time, you do need a like, you do need to show these employees that, okay, this person has been driving for 6 months with this company, haven't gotten into any accidents, haven't had any like bad reputation, this and that, has been getting here on time and stuff like that. Screw it, let's give them a shot. And that's what all these other people are doing. You know, they're finishing their 1 year with CR England, and they're like, you know what, let me try out FedEx, let me try out this other company, let me try out this other company that wouldn't have hired them right off the bat, right after high school. I mean, right after the school. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Let's go into the negatives. One of the negatives is basically home time. You really don't get to go home. This is strictly for over the road. You don't really get to go home as much as you want. Yes, you are on the road for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time, and you barely get to go home. As a dedicated driver like myself, I get to go home every single week. Day cab drivers, they get to go home every single day, maybe every other day. But a day cab driver wouldn't benefit me because I live an hour away, so it wouldn't be worth it spending 2 hours on transit, you know. It just wouldn't benefit me. So that's why I'm really comfortable in dedicated. So I'm happy with that. I don't want to go to over the road because of the home time. And obviously, without lack of home time, that means lack of eating good, you know. That means all these fast foods at these truck stops, you're not exercising as you want to. You do get a little bit heavier. So obviously, with the lack of kitchen in your truck, things could get a little bit more difficult on being able to eat the way you want to. Yes, there are ways around it. Like, you could buy a generator, meaning you could buy a freaking you could buy a microwave, you could buy a mini fridge and stuff like that. But it's just extra steps, and not everybody will be able to do stuff like that in order to keep track. It'll be just easier to go into a Subway, go into an Arby's or whatever, and get your food from there. Yes, Love's does sell like little salads and stuff like that, but come on. I know, at least for me, once I'm at a Love's, oh, there's a Carl's Jr. Let me put that salad away. So you gotta make sure you keep track of what you're eating, because if it gets carried away, that is not a good thing. Another bad thing is hygiene with these truck drivers, which is a bad thing, obviously, that they're not taking good control of their hygiene. Love's or these other truck stops, not rest stops, but these other truck stops offer showers. And if you have a rewards card that is free, you get to shower for free, you know. Even if you don't have a rewards card, it's $12, $13 to shower. And me and my partner try to shower as much as possible every time that we get to a Love's, every time we switch or whatever, when we're at a truck stop, because we know that hygiene is important. And obviously, if you're sharing a truck with the team driver, you're not gonna want to be that person that doesn't brush their teeth, that doesn't shower, that doesn't take care of themselves, you know. It's just, don't make it hard for your team drivers if you're that kind of person. So make sure you take care of your hygiene, even though you're in the truck by your, most of the time. Yeah, make sure you take care of yourself. Another thing is sleep. I put this into the con because if you don't know how to take control of the hours of sleep, the hours of driving, and you don't really sleep when you're supposed to, it will affect you negatively. I've done the mistake where I've had days where I didn't really get as much sleep as I needed, and it was a pain in the yeah, it sucked. So you got to make sure you sleep when you have to sleep, because you only have you have at least a minimum of 10 hours of your sleeping break that you're required to be on sleeper berth for. And yeah, I'm gonna admit it, I'm not sleeping for those full 10 hours, but as soon as I stop driving, we either get food, I'm on my phone, I'm watching YouTube, I'm just checking on my phone and stuff like that, and then I sleep. But I make sure I sleep a good amount of time, especially before I start driving, because you don't want to lack sleep and then you end up driving overnight and it's just a pain in the so you got to make sure you take advantage of when you got to sleep and how long you got to sleep. Don't be lazy when it comes to that. Take advantage of it. So that's just another thing. I already mentioned job stability. I already mentioned that it's not a dead-end job, because you could keep improving from there. What else? I can't really think of everything off the bat. Let me get my phone really quick because I have everything written down. Right now I'm solo, but the reason why I have this curtain up is because I'm standing in the middle of the truck, and you know, I don't want to be like, hey, look at that weirdo standing up in the middle of his truck recording himself. So I didn't really write too many notes, but it's basically, it should just give you guys a general idea. Another positive thing is travel. You get to go around the country for free, assuming you are a over-the-road driver. You get to go around the country for free. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and I got to go to I think almost all of Texas. You know, I had to see that AT&T Stadium. You know, I had to go to Dallas, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity working at an office job in LA. So of course I took advantage of when I was in OTR, and I traveled. I think I've been to about like over 25 states, which is pretty badass. Not all of them are as fun. There's some, like I want to say Wyoming, where there's nothing. So it's pretty nice. At least I got to experience stuff like that. I've stayed a long time in Nebraska, but pretty nice, pretty good experience. And talking about traveling, you get to bring your spouse with you or your pets with you. I know for a fact, Sierra England allows you after 6 months. I don't know what the rules are for these other companies, but you are allowed to bring your spouse or your pets with you. Pretty cool, because, you know, especially if you're solo, they help you spend the time. You know, there's someone to talk to while you're driving, stuff like that, someone to stay up with you, make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to, like just make sure that you're doing good, because you do get lonely, especially if you're solo. You do get lonely, and it kind of sucks. I've gone through that because I was solo OTR, and it just sucks, especially when you're in a state way out there and you're way far from home, no one to talk to. Obviously you could call, but you know, it's best to have someone with you. Another good thing is, like I said, the free showers, and no one is bothering you, basically. I don't have my dispatch managers or dispatch breathing down my neck telling me what to do 24/7. The main interactions I have with my dispatch are, they send me a text in the morning. They say, hey, good morning, you guys have a 3-stop Utah trip with a backhaul. Here's the backhaul pickup number. Have a good day. So it's not really them telling me, hey, do this, do that, get back here on time, where the hell are you? No, that's a good thing, because yeah, like obviously you don't want somebody screaming at you all the time like, hey, where the hell you at, why aren't you here, you're supposed to be here an hour ago, blah blah blah. You really don't have to do that. But at the same time, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, meaning I'm not slacking off. Yes, me and my co-driver do, when we pass through Vegas, yeah, we do stop at the casinos. Yeah, we do spend an hour sometimes at the casinos, but that's because we have the time. That's because the way that we run, we're not wasting load time, if I'm saying that correct. We're not, like, let's say we're an hour away and we're supposed to be somewhere in like 30 minutes. We're not gonna spend those 30 minutes and then go to, no, we're only going to the casinos, or like stopping when we have sufficient time and it's not going to bother the next load. So obviously we're smart when it comes to that. Another thing is the waiting. You know, especially for OTR, you will be waiting a lot. Unfortunately, I've gone through it a lot where I've waited several hours getting loaded or getting unloaded, and it's just a pain in the ass because you're not getting paid. You are just wasting hours. You can only drive for 11 hours in a day and on duty for 14, so you're wasting your hours, you're wasting your potential that you can make in that day, and mentally it messes with you. So waiting is a huge part of being a truck driver. That also goes along with waiting in traffic by being patient. There's gonna be those idiots that are cutting you off and just swerving in and out, kind of brake checking you. No one has brake checked me yet, but I have seen some idiots on the road, and it's like, how did you get a license? How? But obviously I'm not. When I'm in my car, hey, no one's cutting me off, you know. I'm too fast for that. But yeah, let's get out of that. Another thing, I already mentioned sleep, loneliness, hygiene. The last thing I'm gonna mention is being a truck driver is not easy. It might seem like it from the outside, where all you do is drive, you know, but it is not easy. Physically, maybe, because you're literally just sitting in the seat, but sometimes that might be too much. You might have to stop, go outside, stretch a little, you know, get active, work out, stuff like that. But mentally, it sucks. At least in the beginning. You do get used to it, but in the beginning it sucks because it drains you, especially if you don't sleep when you're supposed to and stuff like that. It gets to you. So you got to make sure mentally you're there, because once you're behind the wheel, you're responsible for not just your life, your partner's life, the lives of everyone around you, for the merchandise and stuff like that. And it's very risky, especially now that we're in middle of October and it's starting to have bad weather. Like right now, it's gonna start snowing in Utah. It already snowed last week, but it's gonna start snowing, and I know how Utah gets when it starts snowing. I've been through it during my training days, and it is going to suck. So I'll make this my last topic, which is a negative: the weather. Make sure you slow down. You're extremely cautious, because you could tip over by wind. You could jackknife by rain, by ice, by black ice, by snow, just by idiot drivers or in general. But make sure, if you're going to these states that have horrible weather, slow down, stop if you have to, don't drive, call your dispatch, let them know, but never put yourself in danger if you don't feel comfortable with driving in those conditions. So it's getting hot in here. I'm gonna take off my beanie. I'm gonna stop working out. I'm gonna probably shower, but I'm at Rialto, so I need to go to Colton. And right now I could go and shower because we have a few hours before we go to Utah later. So yeah. Another thing that reminded me right there, which this is the pro for those of you guys that are independent, don't really have like kids or a spouse to go to. Technically, you don't have to pay rent. You know, if you don't want to spend money at your apartment or at your house, like living over there, you could literally live based off your truck. I know people that live in their trucks. I've even seen YouTube videos of people living in their trucks. They don't go home for their home time, and they literally spend their life, oh, not their lives, but their likelihoods in their truck. There's a bed, there's a restroom at truck stops, you know, there's microwaves. You could buy a microwave for your truck. There's AC, there's everything most people need are in these trucks, and you are good to go. So if you want to save some money, if you're that kind of person that wants to be on the grind, you know, don't really have kids to go home to, or you really want to save as much money as you can, there's always a possibility of living in your truck. I would speak with my dispatch about that, but it depends on what account you work for, what company you work for. So don't obviously submit a request to your landlord saying, hey, I want a 30-day. So no, don't do that. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm getting a little sleepy, so I might take a nap instead. No, I'm gonna go shower, take a nap, and I'll see you guys next time.